It's Luke and Naomi.
Okay, here we go. Episode 73. Happy episode 73. After taking a week or so off.
And I didn't even want to.
And there you go. You can hear she sounds normal.
I do. I sound, normal now.
Pretty much back to normal,
Yeah.
right? And, what a horrible set of timing, too, because we plotted to do episode 73 originally just a couple of days before Naomi's birthday.
Yeah.
So, if you do the math, her voice went out and she had to deal with that through a birthday.
Yeah. I think this is the first time I've been sick for a birthday.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've been sick through a birthday. Don't recommend it. I was a little bummed about it.
Yeah, I could tell. A Wednesday birthday, I guess if you're going to be sick through a birthday, a Wednesday birthday's okay because at least you're not blowing a weekend.
Yes. If my birthday was on Saturday and I was sick, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be devastated.
That would have been extra rough. But
Yeah.
Here we are, recovered a week later and
Yep.
good to go. We got the Neverending story coming up. This is, as with most of our, I feel like, I say this every time, but as with most of our movies, I'm excited to get your take on this one. Very 1983, 82, 83 when the Neverending story came out. So, I have an extra question that I'm going to add in at the end when we do our review questions as well.
Right.
First one I have fallen asleep to, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to factor into any of the Under a Rock review at all or not, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
Coming up in just a little bit with the Neverending story review. But yeah, so Naomi's birthday last week. She lost her voice, so we couldn't
right.
record and do all of this stuff.
I had such a great plan, too. It was going to be a very productive week. And, that all went out the window again. So,
It really did.
So.
And then I can't remember the timeline here, but after or before that or something like that, we got a hold of some tickets to Wilmington Feast.
That's right.
The Feast Wilmington Festival and the what the hell was it called? Help me out here. Craft and Cuisine. That's what it was called.
I had no idea what you were going for.
Event. So Wilmington Feast did this big whole, food festival basically. Like, come out and sample everything. And then they did it by breaking it down into like 4 different little parties where you got some stuff at everything.
Yeah,
and
they had like a peer party one night.
Yeah, Brunch Elevated was another one.
Yeah, which sounds awesome.
So I was offered up tickets, and I wasn't even given options to do any of the other events. It was like, you want the craft and cuisine one, right? Because, craft beer.
Yeah.
Of course. So that fits in perfectly with Sips and Snacks.
Right up our alley.
Right up our alley. So we got to do that, which was really cool. It was outdoors down on the riverfront, and it paired up some really, really, really good food with some really good beer.
Yeah, so we had like local breweries pairing up with local restaurants and making this you tried one of the foods with the drink, and it was awesome. It was so well done.
Really, really cool. So it turned out to be a little bonus Sips and Snacks too, just minus the vino, just straight craft beer, which is fine with me. I don't really complain about all of that. So we've got a couple of videos coming at you soon, showing off a little bit of what we got to sample there. Do you remember what was your favorite thing? Everything was so good. Like, I stopped trying to keep score.
It was really hard because a lot of the food again went so well with the beer, and it's stuff that I wouldn't normally eat by itself. Like, there was this goat cheese pastry puff with like peanuts and honey, and it was paired with an imperial stout. And the goat cheese, goat cheese has a strong taste to it, but the beer like just complemented it so well that it was so good together.
I remember asking, is that goat cheese?
Uh-huh.
That's like, the feta is goat cheese, right?
Yeah. And then there was also a jalapeno Saison that was paired with really good taco.
Really good taco.
Pastor?
El Pastor,
Yeah.
Sorry to our New Mexico friends.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We've lost a lot of our New Mexico eating knowledge.
That's right.
But
we better get back on that.
That was super good as well. There was one that was paired with ice cream.
Yes. And there was 2 paired with ice cream.
There was 2?
Yes. Same place. It was High Wire and what was the ice cream place called? Yes.
Boombalatti's ice cream.
So they had like I believe it was like a peach or a mango, a tropical kind of ice cream that paired with their high pitch, I believe it is.
Oh, the IPA.
Yep.
The only IPA at the joint.
Yep. And then they had a like chocolate mocha ice cream that went with their churro 10W40
Stout,
Imperial Stout.
That was those were good. We each got one flavor and then just switched them up and stuff like that.
I don't really want to get way off topic here, but can we just say I pulled a lot of that crap right from the top of my head
Nailed
there. So like I want brownie points for that.
Absolutely nailed it. I meant to be like, hey, should we pull some of that info up? But you know what? Seat of our pants as always.
Yeah.
That's just how we operate.
But you'll be able to see a whole bunch of those drinks and the food in the videos that we've got. We've got this really long, well, I say really long. The video is like 2.5 minutes long.
2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Really long.
It felt really long
That's
while
terrible.
I was editing it. But that video shows a a great example of all the different foods and drinks. And then you can see how fancy some of the foods got, because we kind of just butchered it explaining it just now. You definitely got to see it for yourself.
It is a high-end Sips and Snacks.
Yes. Like
the food and the beer, for
the
sure.
The taco that I'm talking about was a fancy frickin' taco.
Fancy tacos.
Yeah.
Fancy beers.
There was tostadas with like ahi tuna on them, and then like crema and other things and whatever. Like you just gotta check out the video.
Wild boar miso ramen.
Yeah, that too.
How about that?
Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah, check out those videos wherever you get your Luke and Naomi, but, YouTube. And while you're there, give us that follow.
That's right.
That would be excellent. So very high-end food, very high-end beer. And speaking of very high-end beer.
Hoo-hoo, yes.
Tell us about this beer, Naomi Lynn.
Okay, so let me first start by saying every once in a while, you just get that urge and you're like, I'm gonna splurge a little bit. Maybe it's a high-end makeup company that you really, really like, and you one time had like one eyeshadow from them, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna buy a palette of this. It's gonna set me back.
Fellas, she doesn't mean a palette like you find in a warehouse.
No,
it means
no.
like a
Makeup.
painter's. The little tray is called a
makeup
palette.
Yeah.
Because a couple of guys out there were like, that's a lot of freaking makeup.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Anyway, so you're gonna splurge on this. You're like, you know what? I've wanted it for a long time. I'm gonna do it. So that's what kind of happened with this beer.
If you haven't seen the picture, look at Naomi on air on Facebook. I think Facebook's the only place we put the picture because it's just a picture.
Correct. Yes.
If you haven't seen it, just go look.
Yeah.
All right.
You can zoom in and you can see the price tag on that beer,
yeah.
But we'll get there. So it started off as a joke one time when we were at Fermental, and I was looking at where some of the more expensive beers are, and Ashley Rogers, who does the Sips and Snacks with us, put this beer in my hand and was like, hey, maybe you want to take this one home with you. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, this sounds cool. It looks cool, whatever. And I'm turning it, and I see the price tag on it and go, oh, my gosh, get this out of my hand.
Almost dropped it.
Yeah, and so I put it back up, and I started yelling at him and was basically, don't ever put something that expensive in my hand again. And so, I've thought about this beer for quite a while after that incident. And then we had been back at Fermental, and I had wandered over to the shelf with the expensive beer and all that. And I was looking at it, and it became, oh, man. I could splurge on that right now. I do have the money to buy this. You know what? I'm going to do it. And I did it. So, long story short, I spent $94.99 on a 12-ounce bottle of beer that we ended up saving for a couple of months, couple of weeks at least. Maybe a month.
Maybe a month.
Yeah.
Ish.
Saved for a special occasion to try this and make kind of a whole event out of it.
Crazy.
Biggest thing I can say is thank God it tasted good.
Yeah, very much.
I would have been so pissed if it wasn't good.
I would have just laughed and laughed and laughed because it's like I get my balls broken for getting tongs. You know what I mean? For picking up some tongs and getting Amazon.
Yeah, but you have like 20 tongs, so there's a difference there. This is one beer.
At least it would take me like 4,000 tongs to get to $100 worth, and here you're going to go, hey. And by the way, if you ever listened to Luke and Naomi in the morning, which was now way too long ago.
Yeah.
But I probably couldn't find it in the archives or anything like that. But there was multiple times that you have said, if you're spending that much money on wine, it's crazy, and like that.
Yes, I will admit to that. Yes, I am a big person to always say, like, if you spend $20 on a bottle of wine, that's just absolutely ridiculous.
So now can you see how wine connoisseurs can spend that money on like a very expensive bottle of wine?
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely makes sense.
And me as well. I'm not here going, I would never, and like, not like I didn't benefit from this.
No, I mean, you got a third of the beer, so.
This was an excellent tasting, which was just crazy. I almost hate that I'm there now. Like, it's like I'm way too, I should have just slammed this thing and then, ran around drunk for a while, but instead I enjoyed it and tasted it like some sort of adult or something like that.
No, it was so good. And listen, it was $100. You better not slam that beer down. I would be pissed at you for doing that.
Of course.
You sip on it and you enjoy it because it was expensive.
Also, it is a 15% bottle of beer. So just really quick, if anybody out there is the craft beer connoisseur and you want to know, technically it's barley wine. It's a triple barrel black barley wine finished with toasted coconut, which is just wonderful. Aged 20 months in a blend of Buffalo Trace, 6-year rye Hoffmeister, Cooperage Heavy Char, Clumet, I don't even know, Clumet Farms, I think I'm saying that right, 18-year Knob Creek, and Wild Turkey Bourbon Barrels. So, yeah.
I thought, especially being like 15%, I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of boozy. It's It's not going to be as good as I'm hoping it to be. And it really wasn't. Again, thank God, because I would have been so mad spending that kind of money.
The way that the different barrels complement each other, which I think helped take away the boozy.
Yeah. This beer, by the way, again, you can see the picture of it up on our Facebook page. It's called Suffer, which, I mean, I just like the name, too.
The wallet suffers, for sure.
It did. It did. That hurt a little bit.
Anchorage Brewing Company out of Alaska, of course. This is, if you're a beer lover, I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, it was worth the money. I would say it was worth the money.
Check out the picture. Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook. It's just the funniest thing. And
that will lead into our topic for next week, but we'll get there.
Yes, exactly. So the Suffer beer, that was a lot of fun checking that out. All right. I have to run this by you because I saw this the other day and I thought this was the funniest thing. And here we go. I found this is from Reddit, and I'm trying to look for the headline. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Funniest sex stories from Reddit.
Oh my gosh. And it's Reddit, so there's going to be a bunch of garbage on there.
Snuggle stories is what we used to call them.
Yeah,
now with the
stories.
podcast we can, grown up it up a little bit.
Yeah, but I like snuggle.
That's right. The funniest. So we'll swap out some words here and there. How about that?
There you go.
I'm still thinking about that Suffer beer. That was so good. It just had so much flavor. Anyway, okay, sorry. A list of, what is there? 10. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all of them.
Are we even going to want to hear all 10 of them?
We'll see where my modesty kicks in.
Okay.
All right. What level I'm at today.
I can't believe we're doing this
This is great. So it is, someone asked people on Reddit to name the funniest thing they've experienced while doing it.
Okay.
Some of the highlights. Someone's Google Home speaker responded to just the noise in the room and said, "I don't understand your request." That's
kind of funny, yeah.
A guy squeezed his wife's boob, and just then a train went by and blasted its horn.
That is just kind of an interesting coincidence, I feel,
I would laugh so hard that it would just be over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You'd be done for it.
Absolutely. Let's see. So one couple said they found out the hard way that when you're really going at it, it can activate the clapper. Clap on.
Oh,
clap off.
My gosh. Huh.
On and off with the lamp repeatedly. That's what they say. Let's see. I kind of want to save this one for last. That's the funniest one I've read so far. Let's see here. A couple was on the couch, fully nude, when the girl's father showed up.
Oh, perfect.
So they threw a blanket over him, as you do.
Yeah.
He proceeded to sit on the couch and have a half-an-hour conversation with them.
Oh, perfect.
That's a great one. A guy blew out his knee just changing positions.
No, that's funny. That's real funny.
So that's great that you say that. He had to have surgery, so it wasn't funny for him, but he says his wife couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, I'd be dying laughing. Just because it's not the actual in the middle of the act. It was moving. That's it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is, yeah. Let's see here. Someone's sleep app was turned on and recording them.
Oh.
And
You're snoring and not breathing.
When they realized what it was, it's because it flagged the noise as animal sounds.
Huh.
Which is okay. There's that.
Okay.
Guy said, "I'll be right back," and left the room at the exact same time. They both heard each other loudly fart.
All right. Well, they had the same thing on their mind. They probably ate the same food, too, so they knew. Yeah.
This one says 5 words, glow-in-the-dark condom.
Huh.
Funniest sex story, right?
Yeah.
A guy accidentally made noises sounding exactly like Chewbacca.
That's weird.
And then my favorite one out of the whole list. A guy's pet cockatiel had learned to mimic his mother-in-law's laugh and wouldn't stop doing it. So the husband eventually had to stop, in the middle of snuggling and say, "I cannot do this with your mother laughing at me."
That's funny.
And that is the best.
That is good. That's a good one to end on.
And there are even more on Reddit that are decidedly raunchier.
I was going to say dirtier. Yeah, probably.
If you want.
I was surprised at how clean those ones were.
Try to keep it,
Which I appreciate.
PG-13 now that we're podcasting.
That's right.
Sailing the seas of podcast piracy.
That's right.
That's it then. Time for your recurrent dose of Did You Know? Some random facts for episode 73. Thank you to Mr. Paul Moore for naming it the recurrent dose of Did You Know?
That's right. You were stuck on a name for quite a while there.
Needed some help from the professor there. Did you know the word Ewok is never said out loud in the Star Wars movies?
Okay.
Which is, again, I have to go back and watch because it's not like I don't believe that, but it's like, really? So Brando, Paul, guys,
somebody,
let me know.
Yeah.
Did you know the first ever photo posted on Instagram? First of all, do you know what that is?
No.
It was a picture taken by one of the founders of a golden retriever. He posted it in July of 2010.
Aw.
Puppy dog.
Good picture to be the first one.
Yeah. Did you know American Express got into the communications business in 1979 and actually founded MTV, Nickelodeon, and the movie channel?
Did not know that.
Pretty crazy, right? They
Yeah.
sold them all to Viacom about 5 years later. Did you know the guy who created Super Mario Brothers and The Legend of Zelda for Nintendo was not allowed to ride his bike to work because they thought it was too dangerous for someone so valuable?
Aw, that's actually really sweet.
That's kind of great, right?
Yeah, they're so worried about him. No, you can't do that.
Yeah, for sure.
We need you here.
Does the name Shel Silverstein ring a bell?
Yeah, where the sidewalk ends.
There you go.
Yeah.
A Light in the Attic and a couple others. Did you know Shel Silverstein worked as a cartoonist for Playboy for 40 years?
No.
Even during the time he was becoming a famous children's author.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
That is your recurrent dose of Did You Know? Some random facts for episode 73. Neverending Story review coming up in just a little bit, but we got some homework, or some housekeeping, I guess. Some homework, housekeeping
Yeah, either way.
from our last couple episodes.
Yeah.
We, in the middle of all of this, made our way up to Raleigh to check out Fall Out Boy in concert,
Yeah, before I got sick.
which was just a lot of fun.
It was a good time.
It was the full week before you got sick. It was right
I know.
after we...
I'm just like complaining about the fact that I got sick and it was my birthday week.
Oh, I'm not even saying anything. I'm just doing the calendar math in my head.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was a week before you got sick,
Yeah.
right? I think
Yep.
so. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, you can see some of the pictures, some of our favorite pictures anyway, on Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook. But with the post, Naomi asked, what's the farthest you drove in a single day for a concert? So we thought some of these answers would be fun, knowing that our listeners hail from all over the stinking country and world.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brian in England. Let's see here. So Todd says in 87, he spent 3 hours on the freeway to see Whitesnake at the LA Forum. The LA Forum was 43 miles from his house.
That makes sense.
That's hilarious. Orlando says going to drive from Seminole to San Antonio to see Blink-182 for his son's birthday in June. Going to.
That's cool.
Little over 5 hours one way. Said his birthday's in May, but he doesn't know we got him tickets yet. Well, don't listen to the pod with the kid in the car.
It might be a
Orlando.
surprise.
Or if it is, surprise, kid.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday. Now you have to make him listen.
That's right.
Dallas says 8 hours one way from Roswell to Dallas. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
That was in 2000 for the Summer Sanitarium Tour. Metallica, Korn, Kid Rock, Power Man 5000, and System of a Down. Wow, that's a hell of a lineup. I like
Yeah,
that.
I would drive that far for that lineup.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. He says that was Texas Stadium. Of course, then again, they did it in 02 for Ozfest.
Cool.
All right. Jasmine says probably 3 hours each way to see Evanescence and Hailstorm.
Cool.
All right, 3 hours is a solid concert hall. Brandy says 3 hours as well in one day. She says, but she's gone far as Quebec for an overnight trip.
Wow.
How about that? Ed says the farthest he traveled to a show was Atlantic City. Didn't say where from. So
It's a mystery.
if he's in Roswell, that's a hell of a drive. Snowman says 4 hours to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I bet that was a cool show.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see them. I feel like that would be like really, really fun.
Absolutely. And then we were talking about, speaking of concerts, we were talking about artist riders.
Yeah. That's where our actual topic came from last show.
So we got a couple of those to rattle off for you quick, just to make good. Brian in England says his would be Hidden Valley Ranch, a 5-gallon drum. We got Brian
Good
hooked
thinking.
on
Good
Hidden Valley
thinking.
Ranch. If you're new to the show, you can see a whole video on the YouTube page.
I forgot that he did that
of
for us.
Brian trying ranch for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenal video.
Actually, yeah, he crushed it. It was really good. He says also a barista and hot chocolatier who can make him any type of coffee or hot chocolate he wants.
That's cool.
A
Yeah.
Michelin star chef at his disposal so he can have fish finger sandwiches, fresh and hot, or fried eggs on crumpets with grated cheese. And he says he can cook him and his traveling staff roast dinners and whatever they or himself require.
Nice.
Cherry Bakewell tarts, Battenberg cake. I'm laughing, Brian, because I don't know what these things are. Scones
But
topped
they
with...
sound good.
They do, right? They have these names that make them sound just
Yes.
delicious. Scones topped with fresh double cream and strawberry jam. He says huge glass-fronted fridge. I love that. It's got to be glass-fronted.
Yeah.
Filled with bottled water, flavored water, cans of soda, and tubs of ice cream.
Oh, the ice cream.
Heck yeah. Slush
I did
puppy.
not have any ice cream on my
Yeah,
rider.
no ice
What
cream
was I
on the ride.
thinking?
Ice cream makes me sleepy. So if you're going to perform,
I take a nap in between.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good call. You always have a way out of that.
I do.
Slush puppy machines with every flavor. He says a massive tally with Netflix and Disney Plus.
Nice.
Plus a gaming PC hooked up, personal fitness trainer and gym to help me burn off all the calories.
Well, tubs of ice cream and scones and all of that. Yeah, absolutely.
That is a hell of a rider. Did you want to read yours, or we have it on the page? I can read it.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. I forgot what's all on there, but I know there's Tim Hortons on there.
Naomi's artist rider, and if you're not familiar why we're doing this, Kevin Hart had a crazy 9-page rider. I don't know if they're all that long, but I didn't think they were. 9 pages. So
I'm
we
starting to
wanted
think that they are, just because of how long some of these have gotten.
I want to see, yeah, right, just what we've put together.
Yeah.
I want to see some more actual artist riders. Naomi says a bowl full of wild berry Skittles and a Skittle guy to refill the bowl as Skittles get eaten. That's how you do that.
Yeah.
A personal barista to make a bunch of delicious coffee whenever she wants. A giant charcuterie board with berries, meats, cheeses, all sorts of snacks so she could graze all day.
That's right.
And also, you don't have to make it.
Yeah, as much as I like making those, it would be nice to just have one that I can eat and I don't have to make it first.
If you didn't see this one coming, gang, a large assortment of Taco Bell burritos and tacos. And she says, by large, I mean like hundreds of dollars in Taco Bell treats. You have to be specific. So you have to tell
exactly
them,
what I want.
19 of those grilled steak burritos.
Well, I couldn't decide because I was like, for a little while, and I don't know if anybody remembers this, it was like for one season that Taco Bell did this. They had the family-sized nachos.
Yeah, because it was like a heart attack hazard because it was so salty.
Well, yeah, but they put a warning label on it. Anyways,
Oh my God.
those things were so good. We bought them once, and I have thought about those nachos so much. So I'd want like 10 of those, just all laid out so everybody can come by and just
Naomi's last
pick nachos.
performance.
My last meal before my last performance. Definitely would have like the grilled stuffed burritos. I need like 10 or 12 of those. And then some regular crunchy taco supremes. Because, man, you cannot go wrong with a crunchy taco supreme.
Yeah,
So,
if you got a knuckle full of those, that's great. What else did you say you wanted here? Big screen TV with all the streaming services, full-size bar with bartender to make drinks,
Yep.
six Tim Hortons Ice Cap Supremes, all for yourself, right?
yeah.
A limo to take me to and from the venue,
Yep.
and food from the highest rated restaurant in town. Do you not have enough food? You got low end with Taco Bell, you want high end.
Well,
just going
whatever
artery.
town that I'm in,
That's the performance. Watch me clog my arteries.
I'd be good at it too. No, whatever town I'm in, I'm going to want to try their local cuisine. So I want a high-rated restaurant. I want to try their food. And then wash it down with Taco Bell.
Wash it down with Taco Bell. All right.
Yeah.
So the grease will help get it all down.
Yeah.
Ralph says for the hiccup thing, remember the hiccups are $1 billion?
Yes.
He says he thinks he's going to get out of this. He'd take the billion, then get hypnotized to ignore them. Ralph, uncurable. What part of uncurable do you not understand?
That's not curable. He didn't cure them. He still has them.
Getting around them in any way is out. Is absolutely out. So that's
It
you
made
didn't,
sense
you didn't
to me.
outsmart the game there, Ralph. That's smart ass. And if you're not sure what the hell we're talking about, episode 71, 72.
Just re-listen to all of them.
Maybe
You'll
70.
find it.
Maybe
Yeah.
70. But his rider, he says he wants every single flavor of Snyder's pretzel bites.
Oh, that's a good one.
Every
They've got a
single flavor.
lot of
That's a good one.
flavors.
Yeah, for sure. What else we got? Brando says, personal trainer in Jedi ways. Like,
I'm not surprised
how
with
much
that
time are we
answer.
spending backstage here? I mean,
All day.
All right. He says,
Think about no. Think about all the shows that we have like helped put on or been a part of or
yeah,
whatever.
you're right. They just sit
And
there.
The artists usually get there pretty early in the day.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. Then he says, a butler that goes and fetches drinks or food of our choosing from anywhere I feel like that day.
Cool. Yeah.
He wants video game breaks between sets, so apparently he's a musician with
Okay.
state-of-the-art technology that includes VR and things like that. A hairstylist who keeps the mustache pristine and the hair great,
Nice.
who also makes sure to pay many compliments and keep the morale up. He says, the list, of course, is for me being a superstar actor in the Star Wars universe. Okay, so the set breaks makes more sense now. He says, which is the only acceptable superstar course for him as well.
All right.
Which is true, except for that mustache, man. Brando and everybody else with these mustaches nowadays.
You have a mustache.
I have a full beard,
Yeah.
which includes, when you go with the mustache it is just, Google 80s mustache, everybody, please. Please. My younger
Okay.
brother is a beautiful kid, and he's got this mustache. He looks like Freddie Mercury. And it's
Cool.
like, Freddie Mercury wasn't a bad-looking dude, but when my brother looks like Freddie Mercury, it's just kind of weird. The
All right,
mustaches,
all
man,
right.
I can't with this. It's just, there's a reason it went out the first time.
Yeah, but everything comes back in style.
Ugh. Let's get something else back in.
I think you're on the losing end of this debate.
Bring back the beard. Let me just fast forward to when they go back out, because I
Okay,
can't with the
okay.
mustaches. Nice mustache, Brando. Leslie finally says 23 cans of cheddar cheese Pringles, tops unpopped.
Okay.
That's how you do that.
All right, Leslie.
I love it. Some great answers there. And as Naomi alluded to earlier, next episode, we want to know what's the one thing you do to splurge just for yourself? Like, what's
Yeah.
the one thing you splurge on just for yourself? Like,
Whether it be a $94.99 beer, or if you're going to spend $150 on some brand name makeup, or maybe it's, headphones or something like that you would spend like $150 or $200 on that maybe other people just don't understand. Like, how could you spend
Yeah.
that kind of money?
what's your thing?
Yeah.
What's your thing? What are you spending the money on where it's like you're not spending $100 on a single item at all the rest of your life, but if you're, for yourself, you're going, you know what? That's the thing I'm spending $100 on. Heck yeah.
I'll splurge on some Taco Bell too. I have no problem
I've
dropping
been there.
$50 on Taco Bell.
I've been a part of that. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It is. It is very
It's an
wonderful.
absolutely perfect way to end a Saturday night.
That's right.
For sure. All right. All right. What one thing do you splurge on just for yourself? Let us know on Luke and Naomi on our Facebook page. You can also drop an answer on Spotify or the YouTube channel.
I'm excited to hear some of these answers. I hope we get some good stuff, you know, some things that I wouldn't have thought about.
Absolutely.
Something that people like to blow their money on.
Even if it caught you off guard. Like, I think you got caught off guard with the fact that you really wanted to buy that beer.
Yeah.
And then it was
Well,
like,
I
you know
felt
what?
a little
Screw
guilty about it because we all know that I like to pinch pennies and all of that kind of stuff. So dropping $100 on a beer is just absolutely insane. I was out of my mind. But it was awesome, and I'm so glad I splurged on it.
Well said. Well said. All right, that is it. It is time now for the good stuff. Do you want to hit the fake button?
No, I did it last time.
You did it last time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm hitting the fake button this time. Beautiful. All right, it is time for Naomi's Under a Rock review.
Wait, next time? Not next time, but one of these times we're going to have a guest in here and like interview them or do something, but it's their job to hit the button.
All right.
Okay.
We need a fake button for everybody.
That's right.
We'll have people record on their phones them clapping or going, you know, here you go, guys. Let's go or something. Send it in and I'll drop it in.
Perfect.
How about that?
That'll be the button.
And then anyway, Naomi's Under a Rock review of the Neverending Story. Early 80s movies haven't done super well with Naomi Gang, so I don't know where we're going to end up with this one. I'm trying not to look at her because I don't want to see a reaction.
He's got his hands up so he can't see my face right now.
But yeah, so early 80s, I mean, you know, Return to Oz, I tell some people that are my age or older, and they're like, how the hell did she not like Return to Oz? Although, like, Paul Moore was telling me, you know, we're, I think, exactly the same age, and Paul's like, I had never seen it, and he said he watched it and was yeesh.
Horrified because it's a terrible movie.
For making him watch that. But
sorry, Paul. But thank you for watching it.
I am excited to see Naomi's thoughts watching The Neverending Story in 2024. So lay it on us.
All right, bear with me. I wrote these notes as we watched the movie. I have not looked at these notes, and we watched the movie before we canceled last week because I wasn't sick when we were watching the movie.
Right. So it's been a minute.
Yes. All right. So we meet Bastion.
Yep. Right off
First
the bat,
of all, I got a problem with this kid's name, but, you know, I won't get into that. All right, we meet Bastion, the main character of our story, getting ready for school while his dad talks to him about math class and how his teachers say he's daydreaming all the time and all of that. His dad tells him he needs to come back to Earth, basically, and face his problems. We also learn in this time frame that, like, his mom is dead, and he's got a problem with bullies who apparently continuously try to throw him in the dumpster.
Which is hilarious.
The fact that they actually throw him in the dumpster. Man, crazy.
What else are you going to do?
I don't know. So he hides from the bullies in a bookshop after, you know, he had been thrown into a dumpster, climbed out, hides from the bullies in a bookshop where he talks with the bookkeeper about some of the books he's read. The bookkeeper was reading a book but says it's not for the kid. The kid reads safe books, you know. This isn't a safe book. So he sets down the book because the phone's ringing and the cover says The Neverending Story.
Oh!
Oh!
Does it count?
Yeah, it counts.
All right. Does it make you happy?
It did. I saw it coming.
If you don't know, Naomi absolutely loves when they say the name of the movie in the movie.
Yeah.
So
for the most part.
So does seeing the Neverending Story on a book in a movie about a book called The Neverending Story, does that do it?
It kind of counted, but again, I saw it coming, so it's like I like when it's like snuck in there, and I'm like, oh, cool.
All right.
Or like where I don't know where it's coming from, like the Green Mile. Like when that came up, I was like, oh, cool. That makes sense.
Totally forgot that it's a sad ass movie. She just loved the Green Mile.
Listen, it was still sad. I can still be entertained by the way they name drop in it. That's fine. All right. Anyway, so the bookkeeper sets the book down. The cover says The Neverending Story. Bastion steals the book, but leaves a note saying that he's going to bring it back and takes it to school. But instead of going to class, he goes into the school's attic and starts reading.
Who's going to look for you there?
Yeah, well, I'm just surprised he knew, like, to go there, but whatever.
Yeah, also weird, yeah.
So we meet these characters. We got a rock biter from the north who says everything is disappearing. This night hob who says he's from the west and everything's disappearing there too. They decide to go to this empress for help in the ivory tower.
The childlike empress.
Well, you know.
I don't know if they had mentioned her name in that vein before.
I have no idea. I don't remember. They ride to the ivory tower.
I can just hear the sarcasm in your review. Just it's there. Like it's right behind your word. Right there. It's pushing your words out of your mouth. The
just
sarcasm
a little bit. Just a little bit.
Rock biter. All right.
Well, I mean, I thought these characters that we were meeting were going to be very important, and that's why we were meeting them right off the bat. And they like show up and then they're gone. They're not a part of the story until like the end again, and nobody cares.
Continue.
So I was a little angry about that. Oh, we meet all these people, but don't worry, you won't see them again. Oh, okay. All right, so they ride to the ivory tower. They find that the empress is not well and dying, so she won't be able to save everyone. and it seems to be caused by this mysterious nothingness. Her only hope is a great warrior named Atreyu, that he could fight the nothingness. We meet Atreyu, happens to be this young boy who is going to have to go on this quest to find the cure for the Empress, fight off the nothingness, all of that. He can't take any weapons with him, or he can't take anybody with him. He's got to do this on his own. So Atreyu rides his horse through the desert, through these rivers and swamps.
Artax.
And gets to this gross-looking swamp that's called like the Pit of Sorrow or something like that.
Not to be confused with the Pit of Despair.
Is that what it was?
No. I think it's the Swamp of Sorrow or something like that.
Well, I forgot like right after I heard it, and I'm like, okay, it's something about sadness, you know.
Somebody's going to be screaming at me about the name of this damn swamp. I know.
So anyways, they end up at that area. Pit of Sorrow, Swamp of Sorrow, whatever. You have to keep moving, otherwise...
Swamps of Sadness.
Okay. You have to keep moving, otherwise the sadness gets you and you'll sink. So Atreyu seemed to be moving okay through the muck, but his horse started having difficulties, and it started sinking worse and worse, and then he was gone. And Atreyu is crying. Bastion reading the book is crying, and I've seen the memes, so I knew like half the population was crying over this scene.
This is a really just destroying scene when you watch this as a 12-year-old.
I can see that, but as an adult
It's a
who has seen the
soul-crushing
memes,
scene.
it was just like, oh, this horse is about to die.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be so like nonchalant about it, but I saw the memes where people were like, oh, you're sad about blah blah blah, you know, this moment ruined my childhood, or whatever.
Yeah, you never
and
had to
it's
watch
the
Artax
horse
die over and over again.
Yeah,
because
but
you
I
watch
got
that
to
movie
see him
all the
half
time.
sinking already.
Damn memes.
I know.
Of all the stuff pop culture has ruined as far as the Under a Rock reviews, that's got to be one of the more disappointing ones for our regular listeners.
Is how many are ruined by the memes, or just this one
Is this
particularly?
one particularly
Yeah.
because the art, like you will not share the just absolute agony of losing Artax with everybody else.
No, I won't ever understand that feeling. I won't. Unfortunately, the meme got to me
Which
first.
probably means I'll never get to name a pet Artax. You know?
Nah. Anyway, back to the movie.
Just
So-
nobody. Screw your feelings. Nobody cares.
Atreyu continues on,
It
meets up with
just
this
blows
ancient
right by it.
turtle. This ancient turtle is kind of a jerk, too. The turtle isn't interested in helping Atreyu find the cure or help the Empress or anything like that. And then they say that they don't know what it is. Like, I don't know.
They don't know what the nothing is
Yeah, it was weird.
because it's nothing.
Yeah, well, the turtles were weird. I was a little bummed out about that. I thought I enjoyed the ancient turtles a little bit more.
Yep.
All right, so Atreyu continues on.
This is great.
But it's getting harder to carry on, and this evil wolf-like thing is after him. Just as he's sinking into the mud, this dragon dog-looking thing rescues him. The Lucky Dragon. But at the time, I didn't know that.
Luck Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Luck Dragon.
Did you please tell me you wrote his name down?
No, I just call him Luck Dragon the whole time.
Falcor. Falcor the Luck Dragon.
I like Luck Dragon just by itself. I don't like Falcor. That's
Falcor
weird.
the Luck Dragon. How do you...
Yeah, whatever. Anyways,
You
The
don't know
Luck
what
Dragon.
Falcor meant to people, okay?
apparently not. So the dragon rescues him. He's nursed back to health and heads to see the Southern Oracle. But he has like 2 gates he's got to get through. The first one is the Sphinx. Well, 2 of them are that, but he's got to like pass through it confidently. Otherwise, their eyes will open up and they'll shoot lasers out of them, and you know he'll burn or die or something.
Blow him right up.
Yeah, basically. So Atreyu starts going through, then he starts doubting himself, but he runs fast enough to get through and make his way to the second gate, which is going to be a test of his true self. Like he's got to face his true self. So the scientist warns him that it could be difficult because kind people usually see themselves as cruel. People who think they're brave might actually be cowards, all of that. At this point, Bastion throws the book and says it's just getting too real for him.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But then he ends up picking the book back up, wondering if the people of Fantasia know about him. He starts reading again. And Atreyu has made it to the Southern Oracle, who knows how to save Fantasia and the Empress. They have to give Fantasia a new name. Or the Empress.
The Empress.
The Empress. A name. A new name? A name. I don't know. But they can't do it. A human has to do it. A human like Bastion.
Yeah, of course.
Look at that. So Atreyu gets on his Luck Dragon. I did not put the name. I put Luck Dragon the whole time. And heads to the furthest reaches of Fantasia. They get to the edge, but the nothingness is there and has displaces both of them. Atreyu can't find the Luck Dragon, and the Luck Dragon can't find Atreyu. Atreyu runs into the Rock Eater, Luck, or Biter, whatever. He's back. Anyways, the Rock Biter and saying, nothing is coming, the nothingness is coming and all that. So he's going to sit there and just wait, basically. Atreyu heads in a different direction, finds this building that's starting to fall apart, like an old castle or something. There's like murals on the wall of all of his adventures.
Wow.
The giant turtle that was no help, his horse,
the giant turtle that was no help. I love it. I'm telling you, the sarcasm is right there.
The turtle wasn't any
the
help.
The words are riding the sarcasm.
They are. So the luck dragon. And then there's the one of the wolf creature, the thing that was chasing him earlier that he didn't even know about. So the wolf, he ends up actually like meeting the wolf. The wolf tells him that he's going to be his last meal, but Atreyu is like, I'm a warrior, so I'm not going to die easily. The wolf tells him, if you're a warrior, then fight the nothingness. And this next exchange was probably my favorite part of the movie. Atreyu learns that there's no boundaries in Fantasia. It's pieces of hopes and dreams of mankind, and Fantasia's dying because people are losing their hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
And that's why nothing is growing. It's the emptiness that's left. The wolf admits it's trying to help the nothing, because if people have no hope, then they're easy to control, and whoever controls them has the power. Kind of deep stuff for a kid movie.
Deep?
Think about it. Yeah.
1982 or 3.
Yeah. Anyway, Atreyu and the wolf fight, and Atreyu stabs it, and it dies. But the nothing still wins. Surprise, right there. Rips apart the planet. That wasn't a sarcastic surprise. I know it kind of sounded like it. I was surprised. I figured after he kills the wolf, like, all right, a happy ending.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
The nothingness still won and ripped apart the entire planet, and there's just chunks of land floating in space. I honestly can say I did not see that coming.
Yeah, right.
So the luck dragon comes back. By the way, he finds the amulet that I never mentioned in this entire movie. Atreyu had lost it. It was given to him at the beginning of his quest. Flies it to Atreyu just as the world is like being ripped apart. The luck dragon and Atreyu look to see if the ivory tower is still standing on one of the land chunks, and it is. Yay!
One of the land chunks.
What else would you call it?
I don't know.
There were like little asteroids just floating around in space.
Land chunks, though. I love it. It's great.
So Atreyu meets the Empress, and she's like, why are you sad? And he's like, because I failed. And she's like, oh, no, you didn't. You brought the human child that can save us, a.k.a. Bastion reading the book. Atreyu gets a little pissed, and it's like, I nearly drowned, my horse died, and all of this, all for her to say, like, something that, like, we already knew. He had to live through all of these things. But she explains that it had to happen this way, otherwise a human wouldn't have come along for the journey.
Yeah. Books.
Yep.
In movie form.
They were with him on this whole journey and suffered with him. Definitely clever, I gotta say. Bastion has to call out the new name he has given the Empress to save it, but he still doesn't fully believe, so it's like continuing to fall apart until basically nothing is left. Then he finally gives in and calls it Moonchild, apparently?
Yeah.
Luke had to tell me that because subtitles on the movie just translated to yelling. I'm like, okay.
That's right. Yeah, and it is sort of, like, you can't really tell he says, but he says Moonchild.
How?
Because he says Moonchild.
I didn't hear Moonchild,
If
but
you yell
okay.
it with him, it's perfect.
Yeah, okay. So he does that, and it's basically sucked into the story. The Empress gives him this like glowing rock so he can make wishes, and with each wish, Fantasia grows again and becomes bigger and better. So he wishes for a luck dragon, which was a good wish,
Hell yeah,
he also wishes to chase down his bullies, so him and the luck dragon freak them out and basically make them hide in a dumpster. The movie ends with the narrator stating that Bastion went on many more adventures before he returned to the real world, but that's a story for another time.
That's right.
The end.
The Neverending Story. You can watch Stranger Things if you really want somebody to sing it.
Or we can just not hear it.
All
I'm
right.
okay with that too.
The Neverending Story, Naomi Lynn. First of all, is this a kid's movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you about. Is if you thought, after watching it, if you thought it was a full-on kids movie.
Yes.
It's definitely more of a kids movie than like Return to Oz, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So as we usually do the review questions for our movie, our Under a Rock review, did you like it? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was
Yeah,
all right.
You did. It's the Neverending Story. Of course you did.
It was okay.
And now you know the suffering of Atreyu in our text.
Yes. Again, I kind of already knew it. I saw the memes,
Now you've lived through it with the rest of us.
Yeah.
All right. What did you know about the Neverending Story on the way in?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I didn't
Well, you
know.
knew the freaking horse died.
I didn't know that until I met the horse, and I was like, that's the horse from those memes.
I was waiting
This
for you
horse
to
is
say
going to
something.
die.
This is one of those situations where, like, I didn't want to look at you because I didn't, want
Nope,
to
as soon as I met that horse, I knew what was going to happen to it.
I didn't want to take you out of the of the watching,
Yeah.
So I try not to like glance over at certain times and stuff like that. All right, thoughts going into the Neverending Story.
This is going to be a kids movie, and it's probably going to be pretty cheesy.
All right, did you think it was cheesy?
Yeah, a little bit.
There's some
like
some
the
hooky parts.
rock biter thing, like that's just weird. That was not needed.
After a rewatch, like again, this has got to be the first time I've actually sat through it in a long, as an adult anyway, and it's like the rock biter, if I'm remembering it correctly, was like heavily commercialized. I mean, not really, because it was the 80s, so like it wasn't as like things are today.
Yeah.
But I just remember the rock biters like in the previews and in merch, if there was any merchandise and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And he's not in the freaking movie at all.
No,
That's
two
crazy.
scenes. 2 freaking scenes. Maybe 3.
So all right. So anyway, let's see here. Oh, my phone locked on me. What surprised you?
Well, definitely that time when the whole world blows up.
Land chunks. The world blows land chunks.
I really didn't see that coming. That's for sure. I guess that's it,
That's what surprised you the most, probably.
Yeah, I guess.
The fact that in fact, the rock biter wasn't in the movie, but for 2 scenes, and
Yeah.
then waves at the end.
Just weird.
Would you have liked this more or less if you saw it when you were younger? And I want to say like anywhere from 8 to 12, but like 8, 9, 10 years old.
I'm sure I would have loved this movie at that age, and I probably would have cried with the horse dying.
That's right. You would have
Yeah.
you would have lived through our text the correct way,
Yep. But I did not.
the
So.
suffering way.
Yep.
All right. What was your favorite part?
Favorite parts? Again, probably the conversation between the wolf and Atreyu at the end. I just thought it was really well done. There's some clever moments of, bringing Bastion into the story. Like, doesn't he yell at one point and like
Yeah.
in the story the kids and everybody kind of look up and then he's like, did they hear me?
Yeah.
Like that was very clever. But definitely that dialogue, that conversation at the end was pretty deep.
So what would you? Is that a 5th wall break then? Because it's like a 4th wall break in the book. But then through the movie too.
I don't know what you call
But
that.
the first like couple times I did that, did you think that was cool? Like,
Yeah,
did you
absolutely.
Did you see that coming as he started to read it?
No, which I was surprised, especially with it like not being a safe book and it brings you into it and all the things that the bookkeeper had said.
Did you expect this to be about a book?
I don't think so.
All right.
Now that you mention that, I don't think no.
And see, that's where we run into some goofy stuff because, there's all of the things about the movie that, like, people who've seen this, for years and years and know it so well, like, you totally forget that part of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's a movie about a book, and people who don't know anything about it don't even realize that it's about a book. Let's see, least favorite part.
Rock biters, for sure. I did not.
You didn't like the rock biter at all?
No, he kind of like grossed me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just I don't know.
I mean, if
the
it was
animation.
food going all over the place, that would have been gross,
Yeah.
I don't know. Instead of
It's
just
weird.
rocks falling.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like it.
All right.
Yeah, I guess that's my least favorite part.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
at least there wasn't a list. How about that? Would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You should know what the story is.
Would you watch it again?
Probably not.
No.
No.
You don't have the hour and a half.
No, I want to keep that hour and a half to myself.
All right, but would you stop and watch it like if it's on TV?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No,
Okay.
no.
Are you happy that you watched it?
Of course.
All right. Never-ending story. Anything else? Anything you want to add? Anything we
There
missed?
is one last thing that I've been dying to mention.
All right.
So when the movie starts, it's got the Neverending Story song.
Yeah.
And it started playing, and Luke had said something about Stranger Things and all of that. I don't know the song from Stranger Things.
Oh, how do you know the song?
Dance Dance Revolution had
Shut
this.
up. That's all right.
So that little tidbit
So
is what I will
you've
leave
done,
you on.
So you know the dance to Neverending Story, the song.
Technically, sure. Yeah.
No, for real. You
Yeah.
do. Yeah. That's
Yep.
awesome. All right.
That's how I know that one.
Wonderful. Anything else about Neverending Story?
Nope, I'm going to leave it on that one right there.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We'll
Nicely
see
done.
what happens next week and what movie we do then.
That's right.
Of course, if you want to suggest movies, add movies to our list, all of that, you know the drill. Leave us a message on our Facebook page. You can shoot us a message on our Facebook page. You can leave comments on our YouTube channel under the videos, all of that kind of stuff. Especially if it's a movie that you're like, hey, I love this movie. Let me watch it and see what I think.
We've got a couple of recent additions too. So if you think, nah, she's probably seen it, I promise you, she hasn't. So like, here's the last couple of movies that we've added to the list: Fletch. This is Spinal Tap, The Naked Gun, Face Off, and Gladiator.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of stuff that Naomi just has not seen. So you can throw them at us. Chances are she hasn't seen them. We'll put it on the list.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, time for thought of the day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's your thought of the day, thought of the day.
I'm really bummed because I read like the best ones before we started
Oh,
recording.
I know. What was that one that you said to me and just blew
Something
my
about
mind?
you don't have to raise your hand to knock on a door.
You don't, but then it would be weird.
It would be. All right,
Everybody knock at belt level from now on.
that's weird. That's so weird. I feel like just keep your hand down.
I should do what? Just kick the door.
Yeah.
Use your knee.
Why not? You don't have to use your hand. You just got to knock on the door. Anyways,
Hey
all right.
Siri, knock on the door for me. See what it says. I don't know how to do that.
Is that what it said?
It says, "Do you want me to open the home app?" No, Angus, I don't want you to do
guess
that.
not. All right, your thought of the day. The smell of onions and garlic is so awesome in the kitchen, but repulsive on a person.
Oh,
Pretty gross.
wonderful!
Sorry,
Absolutely
everybody.
nailed it.
I'm
Absolutely
sorry.
nailed. That's a great one. Well done.
Luke, you know, leave us with a laugh.
I'm gonna do my best. I got a couple here.
All right.
If I can figure out how to fix my
Work
get
your
back
phone?
to- work the phone machine. I think I know how to point a rectangle. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I was struggling to get my wife's attention, so I sat down on the sofa and looked comfortable. That did the trick.
Yeah.
That's not a true joke for us. For me, it's not. I
Yeah.
promise. Let's see here. I just broke it again. Come on. I don't want to know where it was taken. All right. Next. I heard that you should always look into a mirror before making a big decision. It helps you reflect.
That's stupid.
Very much, right?
Yes.
Let's see here. I was in a taxi the other day. The driver said, "Do you mind if I put some music on?" I said, "Not at all." He said, "Kiss?" I said, "Let's listen to the music first and then see how we feel." Okay. For her birthday, I took my wife to an orchard and we stood there looking at the trees for half an hour. Not exactly the Apple Watch she was hoping for.
Yeah, definitely not. All right.
If a Viking is reincarnated, is he Bjorn again?
Oh, come on. That's so stupid.
I love that.
These are getting worse and worse.
Bjorn
I
again?
hope you know that. These are just getting worse and worse and worse.
Bjorn again.
No.
I love it.
Ugh.
Fantastic. All right, that's going to do it for episode 73. Thanks for hanging with us for another hour of goofiness and ridiculousness and a very excellent review from Naomi Lynn. How about that? Let's see you for episode 74. Don't forget, follow us everywhere. Luke and Naomi on air, Facebook, Google. Google? Just Google
Yeah.
us. Google Luke and Naomi on air.
YouTube, all of it.
We come up. Yeah, give us that follow on YouTube. I think that's what I was trying to say. We will talk to you for episode 74, hopefully sooner rather than later.
That's right.
Have some fun this week and be excellent to each other.
Love you. Bye.